Welcome back to the SnackWalls podcast. I'm Mike Roberts, your host, and we're here to talk about increasing and maintaining diversity in tech beyond the perks. While companies think they can lure people in with unlimited PTO and dogs in the office, we're here to talk about how you keep them. All right, I'm going to throw it over to our special guest today. Can you tell us in a few sentences who you are and what it is that you do?
Hey, Mike. My name is Manuel Martinez-Herrera, and I'm the general counsel at BetterCloud. BetterCloud is a tech company, a B2B SaaS company that specializes on what we call SaaS Ops, which is basically helping you manage, secure, and discover your SaaS applications. So management and security of SaaS applications in the cloud. I also head the diversity initiative at BetterCloud, which is kind of a passion of mine. Second time I was at a previous B2B SaaS company. I was also heading diversity, and in an interim fashion, I'm also the head of the security team while we're recruiting a new CISO for the company.
Nice. It's got a lot of hats, but security is real important because that's something that you don't want to let get away from you. So I like that.
Definitely not, but I'm anxious to hire someone for that. Get
out of that role.
Yes.
So I'm hearing from some leaders in tech that finding diverse talent is a challenge. What are your thoughts?
It is definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge we have to take full front and try to not make it a challenge by working on it and having different strategies to make it easier, right? It is definitely true that historically there's a bunch of positions in tech that are very heavily white male dominated, especially I would say on two camps, sales and engineers. But we've seen some success by doing different things, right? So we can talk about those things. It is a challenge, but that doesn't mean you don't have to just wave your hands and say, there's nothing I can do about it. To the contrary, you just gotta work on it and make it better.
Absolutely. So tough, but there's some solutions out there. So hopefully we'll get into some of those. So what do you think about the push to remove the requirement for CS degrees for some of these software engineering roles? What are your thoughts there? CS degrees as in computer science. So a lot of companies, I'll give you an example, like Tim Cook came out and said, Apple is no longer going to have a company-wide requirement for CS degrees.
I think that makes actually a lot of sense, right? At the end of the day, engineers, they have to show that they can code and do whatever they need to do, but many of them are self-taught. Many of them have learned working somewhere else. So I don't see that as a need, right? For example, a good friend of mine at a previous company, he used to be a lawyer, and then he self-taught himself to code, and now he's a very successful engineer at a very big B2B SaaS company, right? So I think that is a great move. There's definitely sometimes a barrier of entry through the requirements in the job description. So anything that can be done to improve that helps. At the end of the day, what we care about is someone that is able to do the job, right? How they learn to do the job or where, it shouldn't be that important.
Yeah, again, it's about aligning how you source the talent with what you actually need them to do. And sometimes the degree sounds like it's not as relevant. So what do you think about apprenticeship patterns? Do you think an apprenticeship pattern would work for a tech role?
I think there's a lot of, I think that's a very good avenue to kind of help with these barriers of entry, right? And one of the things, we've recently created a diversity council within the company. Then we also have been creating some ERGs, employee resource groups. One of them is called Chocolate Rain, which is the one for our Black employees. And they're trying to put together some initiatives around training and apprenticeships for the Black community. And through that, maybe potentially they could become interns and then employees of the company. So we're working, not me directly, but our ERG Chocolate Rain is have some ideas around that, and some of the members have done it in the past in other companies. So definitely it's the type of job that you can learn on the go, right? Or by yourself, or someone teaching you. Is not like, unfortunately, to be a lawyer, you need to have a law degree because you have to take bar. There's some things you're required to do by law, but it's not the same for an engineer, right? There's nobody saying you have to have a degree in order to be able to code.
Yeah, there's no standardized test. So fortunately, or unfortunately, depends
Yeah.
how you look at it. But I like that chocolate rain. I like that.
It's
That
it's a great
sounds
name. Yeah.
pretty good.
Because our name is Better Cloud, right? So it's all related to a cloud. Then we're working. We have Rainbow Mafia, which is the LGBTQ group, and then hopefully soon we have another in the works called Curry Cloud, which is for our South Asian community.
Nice.
We actually have an office in Atlanta, and we have a big contingent of Indian engineers that work from our Atlanta office.
Nice. So, what advice would you share with companies that are looking to retain diverse staff? So we've talked a lot about acquiring them, but what about attracting them? What about retaining that staff?
Yeah, it's definitely very important. So ERGs, I think, help a lot, right? Creating a sense of community and having a group of people that share similar backgrounds and interests, and they get together, they organize events, that we see as a way of doing that. I think what is working at our company is we're trying to do this two ways: top to bottom, bottom to top. So from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Starting with the first one, making clear this full executive leadership support for diversity. And we've done that several ways. A, kind of having an executive, in this case me, in charge of a diversity program. B, creating this diversity council with representation from every office and every department, and making sure this is part of our OKRs, right? As a company, having diversity and inclusion OKRs. But then the bottom to top, also super important, having these grassroots teams or ERGs that are created organically and help create this sense of community. And then both ways in which we're trying to bring speakers and education, community events on a regular cadence. And we think those things, I mean, it's kind of in infancy, but we've been doing it for a while now, and we think those things are helping.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if folks are staying and they're sticky, then you know it's working.
Yeah.
So it's a good sign. Who is someone like yourself that you'd like to acknowledge as a leader? I mean, you've taken a lot on at your organization, so that you think might be a good potential guest on a podcast like this.
Yeah, I can give you two names. So my previous company, I was at Namely, which is another tech company that does HR payroll benefits software. So we did the same. We created a diversity council. There were two people on that council that, when I left, kind of took it over, and they've done an amazing job. And I actually, when I was starting to do the same at Better Cloud, I reached out to them and say, hey, how are you guys doing? What is it that you guys are doing? Their names are Michelle Jarmon and Erin Ritwiger. I can shoot you an email later because her last name is a little hard to pronounce for me. But they've been doing amazing things at Namely. They created this speaking series called Speak Her Mind for women in tech that have been really popular within the company, and they've brought really nice speakers. So I think that would be great guests, either separately or together for one of your episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't done two yet, but maybe we'll put them on the radar. We'll see if we can get them on the program. So I like that. Where can we find out more information about your company? This is a great time to talk about anything that you guys are working on.
Yeah, so obviously our webpage, vericloud.com. We actually are having our user conference next month. It's called Altitude. I don't remember right now the webpage for Altitude, but if you Google Better Cloud Altitude, you get all the details. And we're kind of the pioneers of what we call the SaaS ops movement or industry. And we're doing really interesting and exciting things, helping people, again, discover, manage, and secure their SaaS. We think everything is moving to SaaS, or most companies are moving everything to SaaS, and not to be on-prem. And the same challenges that you have when you were on-prem, now you're going to have them in the cloud, and you need someone to help you manage and secure your SaaS applications.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the problems as people like to say, they don't go away. They tend to just be kind of like new and innovative as well. So
yeah.
And we'll throw Altitude in the show notes, so everybody will be able to find that pretty easily. So
that's awesome.
All right, here's the most important question: what are you snacking on lately? What's your favorite snack?
Ooh, I'm a big, I guess I don't know if it's a snack or not, but I'm a big cookies guy. I just love cookies, especially chocolate chip cookies or double chocolate chip cookies. And if you want names, I'll tell you some of my favorite. Insomnia cookies, I really like. I don't know if they you're in San Diego, right? If they're in
I'm
San
in San
Diego.
Diego, yeah.
Levain Cookies, also from New York, amazing cookies.
Okay.
And then there's Milk from the Momofuku guys. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a lot into cookies.
Well, those are pretty fancy. I'm like a, Mrs. Fields kind of guy where it's just, you got to get it warm when it first comes out.
Well,
Those are
from
good.
if it's more like from the supermarket, then I really like the Paul Newman's one, which are like kind of a little fancier Oreos. They're
Yep.
really good.
Yep.
I
Those
love
are
them.
good. All right. So now we know Manuel's like the cookie layout for
Yeah,
us.
it's well known among my friends. It's my thing.
Awesome. So we got a couple minutes left. We could do one of a couple of things. We could either end early. We could you could talk about something else that you're working on. You could ask me a question. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I want to learn more about your school or what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so we have been kind of innovating in the code school space for a little while, and we now have a registered apprenticeship program in California. So the state has come in and said, this is acceptable. And at this phase, we basically bring people in, we hire them, and then we put them through our traditional code school curriculum. And then we get them working on projects for enterprise, mid to large size companies. So we love ServiceNow work. We do quite a bit with like service portals. And then in addition, a lot of C# in San Diego. So we kind of have a C# team that goes out and kind of helps with a lot of the stuff that's in the middle of the backlog. So for companies that are, they've got a team that's going after the top of the backlog and taking care of customers, we like to surprise and delight the folks that have been waiting for have their tasks in the middle of the backlog complete, right? So we can lead some internal and some external teams. So
how long have you guys been doing this?
So we got approved just as the pandemic hit. So we had to do sort of a double pivot. We had to pivot away from our traditional classroom training and go online. And then we had the green light. And so now we're like, okay, now we're super excited about being able to hire people and give them an opportunity where they otherwise might have been challenged in order to create the time and space in their life to learn how to code. Not everybody has the privilege of being able to just kind of put everything on pause for 6 months to a year and fly to San Francisco and pay $20,000 for a code school. So we wanted to provide more access and opportunity for folks that are traditionally underrepresented in the tech space. So women, we've got lots of minority folks that are in our. So I'm just super excited about giving people that otherwise might not have this path or option the ability to get it done very quickly, right? So we can transition someone from very little experience with a computer to ready for day one on the job with a year of experience under their belt in a year, right? Inside of 12 months.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I sounds really good. It's good.
Awesome.
It's really good stuff.
Well, thanks again, Manuel. I appreciate you coming on the program today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been great.
Awesome. The San Diego Code School is a proud sponsor of the SnackWalls podcast. The San Diego Code School is leading companies to tech equity. The tech-enabled apprenticeship program is a venture whose heart is to do a lot of social good and do good work. You can help San Diego Code School secure funding for change by hiring developers, bringing a team in to relieve your backlog, or becoming a program sponsor. You can visit us on the web for more information at http://stcs.io.